Is still alive, back with another one, man. And if you know anything about me, if you've watched any of my streams, you know that I am not a OKC fan. And it's not that I hate them personally. I just don't like the way they play basketball. And this video is going to go through and kind of dissect that I'm definitely not the only one feeling this. And it's a majority of people that watch basketball. And I honestly think it's ruining the game.
Recently, a post from House of Lowlights got over 9 million views claiming that Shai was flopping on every single play. Against the Spurs time and time again, he rose up for a jumper, then crumpled to the floor like he had been attacked. And the worst part, it worked. The entire Thunder team flopped, but they got the win as people commented, "What happened to the game I love?" You basically have to train to do that. OKC saw they can't win by playing basketball, so they have to cheat. Even crazier than these comments. As OKC flopped, we watched Isaiah Hartenstein pull Stephon Castle's hair and hold Wemby's arms on seemingly every—
Some of the dirtiest players I've seen, like, there's a difference between doing a hard foul and then, like, if a person's going to the rim, like what the Pistons used to do to Jordan, when he would go to the rim, they would clobber him. That's different than the little petty shit that the dirty shit that OKC be doing, like stepping on Wemby's feet while he's trying to grab a rebound, or pulling his arm down, or pulling freaking people's dreads and shit. Like, just dirty fucking plays, bro. I can't stand Isaiah Hartenstein. I can't stand Chet Holmgren. I tend to like SGA. I just wish he played ball instead of did these antics.
pull Stephon Castle's hair and hold Wemby's arms on seemingly every play. The NBA is not blind. They clearly see how much fans hate this. So I have a question for you. Why is the NBA allowing this? Why are they not only letting the Thunder flop, but awarding this flopping with MVPs and championships?
I'm not sure.
Because did you know the NBA already has an anti-flop rule in place? Refs are allowed to call a play a flop and then hand out a technical foul only. They don't use—
We talked about this in my last video, and it makes no sense why they're not enforcing this shit, dude. Like, it's clearly a team being favored.
it. Let's watch here on this play as Hartenstein holds Wemby's arm. Then it's Hartenstein who falls to the ground after barely any contact, and a foul was called. The Spurs challenged. The foul was overturned because Hartenstein flopped, but no technical foul was given out here. The NBA and the refs could have chose to make a statement, but instead they chose to do nothing. And after the game, Shai had a weird comment when he was asked,
"What kind of impact did Isaiah have tonight?"
I'm not sure if it was good, to be honest. Yeah.
Shai knew Hartenstein just held Wemby all game and that Wemby has already proven—
Well, that's why they're putting him in there. They're putting him in there because he can't do nothing offensively against Wemby, really. But defensively, he can hang and foul on Wemby all night, and if he fouls out of the game, he fouls out of the game. That's literally his job. You've seen what happened in the first game. He barely played, and because he couldn't do nothing. So in the second game, they clearly stuck him in there and said, do whatever you got to do to try to stop him. If you foul out, you foul out.
to be a psycho competitor who will do whatever he can to get even for these types of plays. In game one, we watched Wemby play at a level where we had to think, if he stays healthy, this might be the NBA's next GOAT. But will the refs give him a fair chance? Because the NBA is actively choosing not to punish flopping. Against the Lakers, Chet had an unforgivable flop.
That shit was ridiculous. It hit him in the chest. The elbow hit him in the chest, and he acted like it hit him in the damn face.
When he pretended Aiden elbowed him in the mouth, and then Chet purposely stayed on the ground holding his mouth, selling the call. The Lakers weren't buying it. They challenged. The call was overturned. Chet was exposed, but no flop was called. Nothing happened. why. As the thing is, somehow the most annoying thing about the Thunder is not just that they are flopping. It is the unevenness of these calls. Yes, I've already mentioned Hartenstein is grabbing Wemby every chance he can get, and he's getting away with it. He should have fouled out of the game like 3 times. But also, Chet Holmgren has been spotted grabbing Wemby's arm.
That's just dirty plays. That's not a hard foul. A hard foul would be going up and trying to block him, or going up and grabbing him by his shoulders and making sure he can't get the shot off. This is just dirty. Grabbing him by his arm, trying to pull his arm back like that while he's going up for a dunk is just dirty and trying to hurt somebody.
In a very unsafe angle on this play. And during a free throw, he straight up
See, this is Chet knows. Chet used to think he was on Wemby's level. He thought he was better than Wemby. But now he knows that he's not, and he's scared to play Wemby. And he has to resort to this type of fucking foolishness, stepping on Wemby's feet and shit, knowing damn well that's Wemby's biggest weakness is his feet. He has such big feet and he's so skinny that he could get hurt. His feet and ankles are their biggest worries. He's always working out his feet.
Stomped on Wemby's foot as the ball hit the rim. On either of these plays, Wemby could have ended up injured. And I don't think the NBA wants that at all. Wemby is set up to be their golden boy for the next decade or more. But I do think the NBA is allowing the Thunder to play in a way we all despise, because I think the league is leaning into one thing. But before we continue, I am very excited to thank Whatnot for sponsoring today's auctions. You watch this want to automatically be end month. Again to Villain, their heel, the team we love to hate watching. The NBA has now said it's a social media league. They monitor the views and comments they get on every clip, and they see so many people are complaining about the flopping, and the hate for the Thunder is spreading like wildfire all throughout X, TikTok, Reddit, Instagram.
Well, in the past, when this happened with like James Harden and shit, they fixed it eventually. It took them a few years, but they fixed it to where James Harden couldn't kick his foot out no more and draw the fouls and shit. Or when KD was doing the up and under thing on people's arms and drawing shooting fouls all the time. It took them a while to enforce it, but they eventually enforced it. So hopefully they do the same with the Thunder, and eventually they enforce it and make them stop doing this shit.
You name
But I
the
don't.
NBA isn't stopping it because the numbers speak for themselves. Spurs vs Thunder Game 1 set a record for the most watched Game 1 of a Western Conference Finals game ever. 9.2 million people.
I watched both of them because I literally, yeah. So I see what they're saying. Like, more people are watching because they want to see Oklahoma's downfall. But it's also ruining the game. Like, it's making a lot of people not want to watch the game, especially during the regular season. They're watching right now in the playoffs because they want to see Oklahoma lose. But during the regular season, it's pushing. Like, I barely watched any Oklahoma games this year. Literally, the only times I watched them was when they was playing either Lakers, my team, or when they were playing the Spurs. That's the only, because they're so, like, I watched some of the highlights and shit, but they're so hard to watch because it's miserable to watch them play, dude. Like, it's not enjoyable at all.
Watch this game. Those are NBA Finals numbers. Game 1 of last year's Finals had 8.9 million people watching. So what the NBA is doing is working. People are tuning in hoping that the villain goes down, at least for the short term, because there's a real question here. Will there be long-term consequences if the Thunder continue to win with this style of play? Now, when flopping backfires, it's one of the most satisfying things we can watch on a basketball court. In Game 1, Wemby hit this insane shot to tie the game.
5 on 4. Wemby's gonna pull a deep 3. Oh!
Same exact spot that Steph Curry pulled up and hit a 3 in Oklahoma's face. And fucking, I don't remember what year, when KD and Russ were on the team.
Oh my goodness! A logo shot!
An absolutely wild attempt. I'm sure Paul George would say this was a bad shot, but if we rewind this play, let's not focus on Wemby. Let's focus instead on Chet.
Pull up. Way off. Spurs got numbers. Holmgren down behind the plane. 5 on 4. Wemby's gonna pull a deep 3.
I didn't even notice that when I watched it. I mean, I was watching the game, but I didn't even notice Chet flop like that, and that's why Wemby ended up being open.
Oh,
Yup, we just saw Jalen Williams miss, and then Chet doesn't even really attempt to grab the rebound. Instead, he just throws himself to the ground, which led to him not being able to play defense. And next thing we knew, Wemby had tied this game up. Flopping was punished. But unfortunately, this is a rare case. Now, I know the refs get a ton of blame as we watch the actual game. It feels like, especially when it comes to the Thunder, they just make so many bad calls. Like on this play, where Harrison Barnes went to go and set a pick, and Isaiah Joe just sent himself flying. The refs took the bait here and called a foul, and the Spurs had already challenged twice, so they couldn't even get the call reversed.
Shit's ridiculous, dude. This is what I'm talking about. It's like, even as much as I've been on LeBron about flopping, it's not even close to what OKC does. Like, LeBron's flopping is like minimal compared to what OKC does. Like, it's insane.
Personally, I think that if you challenge the call and you get it correct, you should still be able to challenge again. I don't think you should be punished for the refs' incompetence and you being right. But if I were to defend the refs a little bit, and please put the pitchforks down, I'd say, what are they supposed to do sometimes? The Thunder are just flailing around like this on nearly every single play. And it's obviously the higher-ups at the NBA that are making the call to not hand out technicals or fines, or even better yet, suspensions for flopping. So the refs are only able to give us a really good no call. They can choose to ignore a 7-footer who is screaming as he flies to the ground, or sometimes they get fooled by the flopping and then they make a bad call that goes viral on Twitter. Just not a good look for anyone involved. But there is some good news. If the NBA does ever actually feel like things have gone too far, they can fix things quickly. They have done
It's not hard to fix it. Like, they can just enforce the rules.
so in the past. Kevin Durant was famous for drawing fouls with a rip-through move where he would wait
This is
until
what I was talking about. I said up and under, but rip through that.
the defender's hand was near his shooting arm, then pull up on a shot attempt that pretty much guaranteed a foul would be called. The NBA decided this wasn't playing real basketball, it was foul baiting, so they decided this was no longer a shooting foul. The league also believed that James Harden was manufacturing too many fouls and not actually trying to put up shots. The league put in place several rules that stopped the foul baiting that James Harden used to do in order to get fouled, especially on threes. The reason was that eventually the outrage just got too high. But we are watching the same thing play out with the Thunder. A lot of times they are not looking to play basketball, they are looking to get fouled. So why is this taking so long to change? Is it going to take another Thunder title to actually see a movement? It might.
Don't worry, Shaq.
I hope
the General
not.
gives you a break, whether it's on your car insurance
Or a break from your car acting up.
I really hope not, man.
And for now, we have to think about a really hard truth. How much do the Thunder and Shea practice these types of plays? That sounds insane to think about, but listen to what JB Bickerstaff had to say about
They have to. They have to.
James Harden.
We were together 4 years in Cleveland, or excuse me, in Houston. You know, you would watch him, and he and I would play one-on-one, and he would foul bait me. You know what I mean? Like, he would use, I'm serious, like, he would only get to play offense, and I would play defense, and he would practice those things, and he would work on them.
And while this is ridiculous to think about, flopping in practice, the thing is, you don't get this good at foul baiting unless you are purposely working at it. This is where I'll
Facts.
say the NBA is in a dangerous spot. If Shea and the Thunder continue to win and nothing is done about it, what is stopping the young players in the league from learning that?
Nah, the kids, not even the young players in the league. Like, we got to think about what the kids are learning, dude. We don't want to see this in high school and college and shit too. Like, come on. Like, this shit is just setting a bad example for everything around. Like, it needs to be stopped, and it's making the game not watchable. And it's sad to me, honestly, because like, it's ruining the game I love. Like, I'm not a gambler. I don't watch sports to gamble. I've never bet on an NBA game or a single sports game in my life. I watch basketball because I love the game of basketball. And it's literally making me miserable when I'm watching it, especially when it's them. It's not just OKC though. I'm not gonna just sit here and act like it's just OKC. Luca does it too. Luca has to quit that shit. Like, freaking Jaylen Brown, fucking Jalen Brunson, they're all really bad about it. Freaking James Harden used to be bad about it. There's so many players that do it, and it needs to be stopped.
hey, I can get paid crazy amounts of money and even win awards if I'm able to sell contact better. Here's what we sometimes forget about superstars and about MVPs. Kids grow up watching them and want to be them. They spend time shooting around in the driveway or recreating their moves. Steph Curry created a new generation of basketball. We've seen a tremendous rise in three-pointers since his arrival to the league because the most talented stars of the next generation grew up watching Steph and practice threes way more. Now imagine if Shea leaves the NBA and we are left with a huge increase in flopping among every team as more and more young players learn, if I flop, I'll get more free throws, and that also the defense can't guard me. That is the case with Shea. Defenders know he gets a lot of calls. They are afraid to be too physical with him, which means when he pulls up for a mid-range shot, he sometimes goes uncontested. He also sometimes shoves off and gets that mid-range shot or falls on his face while shooting it. I do think eventually the fans will have had enough. It feels like we're already there, but the view numbers are telling us something different. But I think if the Thunder continue to get...
I think the view numbers are telling us something different because the fans are there and they're watching it because they don't want to see OKC win. They're tired of it, I think. You know what I mean? I think the views are up so high because they want the Spurs to put belt to ass to OKC. They're the most hated team I think I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've never, like, not hated because of rivals and shit. Hated because of the way they play.
Rewarded, eventually it will turn from wanting to see the villain lose to just, I'm not interested in watching a bunch of grown men flopping around. I want
Exactly, and that's where it's to that point almost. Like, I know hella people that I grew up with and are older than me and been watching NBA longer than me, and they just can't watch it no more because of this shit. And it's literally, that's why I said in my other video, I said if they don't fix this, I said in 10 years the NBA won't be a thing no more, really. The viewership will be so low, it'll be down to like WNBA numbers.
to watch actual basketball. And that is one of the most unfortunate parts about this Western Conference Finals. We have a top tier matchup on our hands. Wemby and Chet were supposed to be the storyline of this series. Victor has had it out for Chet since he lost to him in the 2021 U19 FIBA World Cup. Since then, it's come out that Wemby's biggest motivation this season was that Chet already had a championship. And we've seen him purposely go at Chet whenever he can, dunking on him and screaming in his face, celebrating after Chet missed a clutch free throw, telling the media that basketball-wise, there is no comparison between him and Chet. Chet has ducked this rivalry, which should be a story in itself, but that story has been drowned out largely from something we never wanted, a different story. Will Victor Wembanyama prove?
He's scared. Chet is definitely scared. You can see it in his face. Sometimes he doesn't even jump. When shit like this happens, when he gets dunked on, when he lands, when after this play, the other camera from the other angle literally shows it. You can just see the life drain out of him. He doesn't want to do this matchup. He doesn't want to get bullied down low. He used to think he was better than Wemby, and now that he's being proven that he's not, he's scared of that matchup. He really is. You can tell it in his face.
To be a hero, or will the floppers be rewarded? Will the unethical play style win out? Unfortunately for right now, the NBA has learned any attention, good or bad, is currency. And the way to get the most attention is to always make us feel something. The Thunder won 64 games, and we hate how they did it. Shea won the MVP, and his nickname is the Foul Merchant. We can't stand it. The Spurs, meanwhile, won 62 games. We have loved watching their young core, and Wemby finished third in the MVP race. When he watched the announcement for Shea winning the MVP, it looked like the beginning of a new hero arc, and was not going to let the MVP go to another player anytime soon. And really, good versus bad is one of the most classic storylines you can set up. So for us fans who are already watching the NBA, we are going to tune in to see if justice is served. But what about the casual fans who don't already watch the NBA, but would be willing to watch the league if the product was good enough?
Yeah.
Well, in a sea of problems, that is where the biggest problem comes in.
That's what I've been saying, for real. That's why, like I keep saying, like in 10 years, if they don't fix it, the NBA is no longer going to be a thing because they're losing all the casual viewers. Viewers like me that have been watching my entire life, I want to see OKC lose. You know what I mean? Because I hate the way they're ruining the game that I love. But I think
Thunder
it's
are going to be
ruining it
title
for sure.
contenders for the foreseeable future. They have an extremely talented young core. They
Man,
have
make
a
sure y'all
million
drop a like and
first-round
a
picks.
comment
They have
below
probably
and
the
let me know
best
what y'all
front office
think.
in the league. We're going to be watching them win for a long time. And also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just became the 14th player ever to win back-to-back MVPs. He is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and in this current generation, even if you don't like him, he is one of the biggest faces in the league. How could an NBA champion, Finals MVP, and MVP not be? But we've never seen one of the game's true stars actually face this much backlash. People just don't like watching Shai play. They don't like watching the Thunder play. Even if we compare the current narrative to when LeBron left for Miami or when Kevin Durant left for the Warriors, both LeBron and KD still had their diehards who rode with them no matter what. That's because people just didn't like some of their decisions, not their style of basketball. Shai has his Thunder fans, but almost everyone else cannot stand watching flop.
And I feel like most
And the
Thunder
NBA
fans don't
can
even
put a
watch.
stop to this. They can hand out texts and suspensions, and flopping would be erased. But a title has already been won. Another might be on the way, and Shai is already a two-time MVP. So the league needs to put an end to this now before its history gets written by who can flop the best. So there we have it. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did, I really think you're going to like the videos that are on the screen. If you're already subscribed,
I don't know. I think it's going to be if they don't fix it, I think it's going to be the downfall of the NBA. If they do fix it, I think OKC is still going to be a great team and they're still going to be title contenders. But I think the fairness of it is going to be a lot better. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see if the NBA decides to fix it or if they decide to let this keep happening. And if they let it keep happening, 5-10 years from now, I bet the viewership's down well over half of what it is now. Because if this keeps happening for 5 years, I won't probably be watching NBA no more. I'm gonna be honest. I can't watch this shit no more if it doesn't get fixed. Like it's absurd. I love watching a couple teams, you know what I mean? But the rest of it, I can't watch. It's unwatchable. But man, let me know what y'all think below, man. Do y'all think OKC's ruining the game? Drop a like, comment.